Is he? And is he black?
No.
I don't know who you
I
mean.
have her face. She was at your 65th birthday party too. I remember her face and I can't remember her name.
Oh,
Oh,
Wait a minute. Could it be Kenny Benjamin's wife?
yes, Abby Benjamin.
Abby Benjamin was in Belfair.
She was, wasn't she?
She was, yes, she was.
As soon as I pictured her.
Abby's a beautiful
Oh,
lovely
yeah.
lady. She was a year or two older than I.
Okay.
And
Belfair was co-ed?
there were girls and boys.
Okay.
And we
Separate.
saw each other at Friday night services and Saturday. It wasn't it wasn't Orthodox. Susie,
Hold on.
you're not going to do what I hope you're not going to do.
What? What am I not gonna
I don't
do?
know.
What are
Anyway.
you doing with cigarettes?
Yeah, she's about to smoke cigarettes. It's a videotape, Dad.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, that looked like a pack.
It does look like that.
And folks, I've been off cigarettes for a
What
long
are you
time.
gonna do?
No, that's not.
Okay, so
Oh, it wasn't, Belfair was not Orthodox. The superintendent of the home, Michael Charlotte, a very distinguished man at the time, conducted the services, a layperson, but he really did it. I mean, so we did it in Hebrew and we went through the whole routine, but in a abridged form. So we did Hebrew, we spoke English, in the service, and we did all the things that were Jewish. It was not kosher. I mean, we didn't have ham, we didn't have milk and meat. But it
but
wasn't.
you didn't keep kosher.
Well, it wasn't me, but I don't.
You wouldn't have.
Well, there was no mix of. I don't recall. Yeah, it probably was kosher, but it wasn't emphasized.
Anyway, let's move on to the more interesting things like
You
your high
you
school,
worked at the you worked at the
15-inch
shoe
shoes.
store and you then finished Monticello and went on to Heights.
I thought you delivered the newspaper somewhere too.
I did that too. I delivered the Cleveland Plain Dealer at 5:30 a.m. and the Cleveland Press at 5:30 p.m.
Every day?
Yeah,
When did you start that?
I did it only for a year or two. It was awful hard work. I don't know. I was 13 years old, and one of the great glories is one day I got up in the morning at Belfair on a Sunday at 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock, and Mrs. Grossman, who was our house mother, a wonderful, beautiful lady, said, "Marvin, there's something here for you." And I said, "Whatever, I forgot. No, birthday present." But there was a bicycle, a used bicycle, but to me it was like a Harley Davidson. And I used that bicycle to deliver the papers.
Fun.
And it was I rode that bicycle that day till my legs fell off. I mean, I was
Who got
so
it for you?
excited. My mother's then boyfriend. As I recall him telling me how I learned about it. It was inexpensive, but not to me it wasn't expensive. And my newspaper route was in University Heights around John Carroll University. And I delivered the paper. That was big time. The people who were John Carroll were very wealthy people. There were very few Jewish families, but there were some. And I delivered the paper to the students as well. And it was a big thrill. I did that. So that was another job.
Talk a little bit about your experiences at Heights.
Well, I entered Heights High School in somewhere in
As a 9th grader or as a 10th grader?
yeah,
Grader.
10th grader.
Okay.
And I came in, it must have been in January, because I graduated in January of '44. So I assume I entered in January of '41. And
Was
I
that a
still-
better experience for you
without what's that?
than Monticello was? I mean, do you
Yes, and
battle about your average daily life?
yes,
Well, what
yes, in
this
some
one
ways, your question.
About your experiences in high school.
No, he didn't. He asked me a question, but I know the question.
This one.
He said, what were my experiences at high school
Better.
better than they were in junior high school? Is that your question, son? And I answered, before we were cut off, yes and no. Yes, in the sense I was no longer a Belfair. I lived in my own home with my mother, and we made our own meals, and
The whole reality was better, sounds like.
and I had wonderful teachers, the names of whom, some of whom I still remember.
Such as?
And Ruth remembers a few herself because she went to
What was your favorite subject at high school?
My favorite subject was, without any question of a doubt, whatever, was English. And the teacher, the great Priscilla Tyler, whose name is one of those teachers you never forget. She had, and I tell you this only to identify her, because it really wasn't her identity. She had a withered arm, the kind that turned up years later with the drug formaldehyde. And it wasn't, I don't know why she had it, but when you looked in her eyes, and forevermore, you forgot about it.